Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at really a masterclass in deception.
Yeah, it's quite something.
A story about how getting just one single day off during senior year, that intense pressure cooker time, can involve, well, more planning than maybe the college applications themselves.
It's wild, right? We're diving into sources that map out this incredibly elaborate, kind of chaotic 24-hour operation.
Orchestrated by three very ambitious high school seniors, Grace, Isa, and Everett.
And it's important, I think, to clarify for you listening, these sources detail a fictional scheme, but it's remarkably detailed. We're basically analyzing narrative notes, character sketches.
Right. Focused on that specific pressure cooker late high school, Ivy League dreams, family stuff, all of it swirling together.
Exactly. The moment just before everything changes, they're juggling these huge expectations, parental duties, and their own emotions are all over the place.
Absolutely. So think of this like we're reverse engineering a heist, a day off heist.
Yeah, basically.
Our sources lay out every single step. There's creating a fake stomach bug, which is intense.
Oh, incredibly so.
Deploying a very specific mascot costume, the Philly fanatic, naturally.
Of course, it had to be.
Then a pretty daring trip across the city into Philadelphia. And maybe most importantly, this series of seismic emotional bombs.
Yeah, family secrets, relationship shifts, stuff that really shakes up their whole world, their friendships.
Totally. So our mission today is kind of threefold. First, let's unpack the tactics. They're almost military grade.
You really are. Second, we need to dig into the why. What's driving this, especially Grace's need to orchestrate this whole thing, this desperate grab for freedom.
And third, what do they actually learn? What knowledge comes out of this mess about the relationships, about the secrets their families were keeping?
It's a fascinating look at how sometimes, deliberate chaos can actually force things into focus, bring some clarity.
Okay, let's dissect this operation, starting right at the beginning. The fake illness protocol. Grace needed a rock-solid excuse to stay home.
And she did not phone it in. This wasn't just, Mom, I have a headache.
No way. She went for the full gastrointestinal spectacular.
The preparation alone is just, wow. It tells you something, right?
Well,
the performance for her parents felt as necessary as the actual day off.
Totally. She didn't just use old milk or something gross. She used gourmet leftovers.
Which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
The recipe for the fake vomit is so specific in the source material. Pulled pork sandwich.
Coleslaw, baked beans, a whole barbecue plate.
Yeah, really robust base. And then, get this, she mixes it with a completely melted, very elaborate ice cream sundae.
And not just any sundae. Mint chocolate chip, hot fudge, whipped cream, M&Ms, the works.
All blended together.
In a Cuisinart. I mean, the dedication to getting the right texture, the modeled texture, it's kind of astounding.
It is. And you have to ask, why go that far? Like you said, a simple stomachache probably would have worked. But I think it points to how anxious she was about letting her parents down. The Barbers. They clearly expected, maximum effort, peak performance from her.
So the evidence had to be undeniable, something that wouldn't just, disappear by lunchtime when her mom was due back.
Exactly. The sources mentioned crumbled cornbread and chewed M&Ms as, solid proof, visible evidence. Acute illness.
Okay, so she makes the concoction.
Yeah.
Then comes the staging.
Right. Strategic spattering on the bathroom floor, some near the door so it's immediately visible. Dump the rest in the toilet. Classic.
And the performance continues on herself. Watching a YouTube tutorial for under-eye bags.
Grayish-green under-eye bags, specifically. Using makeup to look genuinely ill. It's method acting for truancy.
And this detail is amazing. The clammy hands.
Oh, yeah, using saliva. A trick she learned from her older brother, James.
Who clearly has his own history with this kind of thing, passing down the family secrets of deception.
It seems so. And the whole performance was timed perfectly around her parents' schedules. Dad wouldn't be home till 6, Mom was just popping in at lunch.
So she just had to hold it together for a few key moments.
Precisely. And the source captures that moment of release so well. Car doors click shut outside.
And boom, drops the act. And scene.
Yeah. You almost feel a relief. Although the energy she must have spent maintaining that lie.
Might have been the hardest part of her day.
Could be. Okay, so step 1, secure the home base. Step 2, recruit backup.
And not just any backup. She goes for Isa Cruz, the ultimate perfectionist.
Right. Isa is the definition of academic pressure. Aiming for valedictorian, perfect attendance.
Since kindergarten. That's insane.
It's a huge part of her identity, or at least the identity her parents, the Cruzes, expect. They're all about the Ivies.
Specifically, Harvard, Princeton, Yale. The sources call it the HPY Trinity.
Yeah. And get this, Ice has already gotten into Brown, which is incredible.
Seriously, an amazing school.
Yeah.
But for her parents, still not the top tier. They're waiting on those HPY waitlist letters.
The pressure's just immense. You can feel it. So Grace's move here is smart. She finds the crack in Ice's perfect armor.
And it's an open book test on ochlocracy.
Yeah, a ochlocracy ruled by the mob, basically, for anyone needing a quick refresher.
And Grace just dismisses it, calls it pointless.
Which is the perfect appeal to Isa, right? It taps into that buried desire for, like, intellectual rebellion against the endless grind.
Why study mob rule when you're living under the mob rule of parental expectations?
Exactly. It hits home.
I know.
And Isa's next action is huge, monumental for her.
She makes the call.
She calls Sophia Flamporis, the school secretary at Council Rock North, and she fakes a family emergency.
Breaking that perfect attendance record, that kindergarten to senior year streak. Gone.
It's massive. It's not just skipping, it's her actively dismantling this symbol of her parents' expectations. It's a huge step toward, finding her own way.
Okay, ICE is in. The team is forming. Now they need to extract the third member, Everett Adler. This part is called Operation Fanatic.
Love the code name.
Logistics become key here. They need stealth.
Right. So Isa's car is out. Her cream Mini Cooper has that vanity plate.
I'm CR using... Yeah, not exactly subtle.
Not at all. So they pivot. They use the family's red Tesla, the Muskmobile.
Which is super quiet, stealthy. Much better than the other Cruise family cars, apparently. A vintage Rolls-Royce. A VW Beetle.
Yeah, showy options. The Tesla makes sense. It shows they're thinking strategically. Function over form for the mission.
And the key to the whole extraction. The disguise.
The Philly fanatic costume. An authentic, professional one.
The sources mention it rents for like $600 an hour.
Insane, right?
Yeah.
So Grace suits up, 7 feet tall, fuzzy green, walks right into the school office.
Apparently scares Mrs. Flamporis half to death.
I can imagine. But it gets her in. Now, the target, Everett, he wasn't chosen randomly.
No, he's vulnerable. The sources point out he's dealing with a lot. Chronic depression.
And it's the anniversary of a really tough day for his family when his dad, who passed away, was diagnosed with cancer.
Plus, he's low on his ADHD and anxiety meds. He's just struggling.
He's primed for some kind of intervention, even a bizarre one like this.
So the extraction itself is pure manipulation. Brilliant, but manipulative.
Totally. Grace, as the fanatic, uses this local rumor about a similar contest winner at another school. Makes it seem plausible.
Then she calls Everett's mom, Mara Adler.
And sells her this story. Everett won a contest. He gets to leave school, go see a Mets game.
Which is funny, not even the Phillies.
I know, but it's all framed as something to brighten his spirits.
And it works because it taps right into Mara's biggest worry, her son's grief. She offers this fake opportunity for joy.
It's a masterstroke, tactically. The whole setup, from the fake puke to the giant green mascot, it's this blend of impersonation, exploiting known weaknesses, logistical planning.
All for what they see as an emotional rescue mission.
Right, but a plan this big, it's going to have fallout, collateral damage.
And the first one caught in the blast radius is Grace's brother, James.
Yeah, James. He's kind of the unassuming player here, but he turns out to be the sharpest detective in the whole story.
His suspicion gets triggered by something tiny, right? A text message slip-up.
Exactly. Grace is supposed to be out cold, sick. She'd asked James to get her homework, but Isa replies using Grace's phone.
And signs off XOXO.
Which Isa always does, but Grace never does.
James knows his sister. He knows her texting habits. That one little detail tells him something's up. A conspiracy.
Instantly. So he goes to school, and he walks right into the middle of Grace's viral success.
The rumor mill has gone crazy. Her fake bug is now life-threatening food poisoning.
There are hashtag Saving Grace posters. Seriously.
Apparently. And people asking for their address to send edible arrangements, it got completely out of hand.
Wow. But this whole over-the-top drama, it actually gives James the perfect cover.
He totally uses it, runs a counter scam.
Oh, yeah. Leverages the sympathy for his supposedly dying sister to get out of detention.
What was the detention for again? Moving a teacher's car.
Mr. Henderson's car, yeah.
Yeah.
So he dodges that bullet, and he easily collects all of Grace's missed work because everyone feels sorry for him. Genius, really.
He turns her chaos into his convenience. Smart kid.
But the real detective work happens back at the house. The Barber house.
He does a sweep of the scene.
Finds the remnants of the vomit mixture. The rank bucket hidden in the closet that confirms the illness is fake. Grace is playing hooky.
Okay, so he knows she lied, but then he finds something much bigger.
Way bigger. The Cheval Collective for sale signs. Just sitting there on the lawn.
Yeah.
Professional realtor signs.
Meaning their parents are actually planning to sell the house?
Actively planning. Repainting walls, neutral colors, talking to realty firms. And they haven't told the kids a thing.
Oof, that's a huge betrayal.
Massive. And James, even though he's annoyed at Grace, his first instinct is to protect the family unit, the home. He takes the signs down, hides them.
Wow. Loyalty runs deep there, even amidst the sibling rivalry.
Definitely. And we get another glimpse of James's, hitting talents later. He needs to get his phone back, which Principal Unger confiscated.
And how does he do it?
Lockpicking. Apparently, he learns instruments from YouTube tutorials, and those skills translate.
No.
Yeah. Uses one of Grace's bobby pins, pops open Unger's filing cabinet. The source notes it was labeled with villainous cursive, which is a great detail.
Huh. So James isn't just the overlooked brother. He's got skills. Resourceful.
Very resourceful. Quietly competent while everything else is exploding around him.
Okay, let's shift back to the main trio. They're in Philadelphia now, and the mission's purpose seems to change.
Yeah, it moves from just escaping school pressure to something more like emotional archaeology.
Their first stop is Independence Hall. Deliberate choice.
Absolutely. The source says it was about recapturing the feeling of childhood field trips they took with Everett's dad, Jesse Adler, before he passed away.
Revisiting a place connected to happier times, to his memory.
Right. Forcing the grief out into the open, maybe. Letting Everett connect with his dad's memory. Jesse apparently taught them all about history and civic duty, making it okay to feel that sadness.
That's heavy. And the emotional intensity keeps building, right, to the art museum.
Yeah. Specifically, the Team Lab digital installation, Universe of Water. And this is where that long simmering thing between Grace and Everett finally happened.
The kiss. The big, pivotal, friendship-altering kiss.
Finally.
Yeah.
After all the buildup. But of course,
Interrupted.
immediately, by a museum guard who sounds completely over it. Like, all right, kids, move along. Seen it all before.
Ushering them out. The most epic anticlimax to a huge emotional moment.
It perfectly captures the day, doesn't it? High drama followed instantly by mundane reality crashing back in.
Okay, but the biggest, most devastating reveal of the day happens later, and it belongs to Isa.
Yeah, this one is rough. They're at Jean-Georges, Philadelphia, super high-end restaurant.
And it starts with them trying way too hard to be adults.
Oh, totally. They try to order fancy drinks. Everett orders his dad's drink, a Stoli up with an olive.
Grace wants a Cosmo. Isa asks for Veuve Clicquot champagne.
And the server just shuts them down, flat out. Sees right through the expensive clothes, tells them to come back in, 3 to 5 years.
Ouch. Total failure in their attempt to look sophisticated and in control.
And right then, at that moment of failure, Isa sees him.
Her dad, Luis Cruz, the Georgetown professor, having lunch.
And he's not alone. He's with a younger woman, described very specifically as looking like Meghan Markle's character from Suits.
Polished, professional, sophisticated.
And he kisses her.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, man. Confirmation. All those suspicions about his business trips just confirmed in the most brutal public way.
Isa's meticulously ordered world shatters.
Yeah.
Instantly. Right after failing to order a drink, a bid for control, she loses all control over her family's reality.
What do they do?
Panic. Pure panic. The whole group apparently scrambles and hides under the table.
Under the table at Jean-Georges?
Yeah. Hiding from her dad and his affair partner is just
Yeah.
the ultimate collapse, right in front of the person whose expectations she was running from.
So the restaurant scene is the breaking point. Isa's world just imploded.
Utterly. But her first reaction is interesting. It's classic emotional displacement.
She doesn't lash out about the affair.
Not immediately. She directs her anger at Grace, at the whole skipping school plan, the risk involved.
She brings up seeing Principal Unger earlier at that Rittenhouse Row Festival.
Right. Focusing on the logistics of the scam going wrong rather than the massive emotional bomb that just dropped on her family. It's safer.
Avoids the deeper wound. The father's betrayal, Grace and Everett's new thing. It's all too much.
Exactly. But that anger, that confrontation with Grace, accusing her of being blinded by Everett, it actually forces Isa to see something clearly.
What's that?
Who really makes her feel okay.
Yeah.
Who calms her down.
James
Barber. She realizes the depth of her feelings for him. The sources mention he's the only one who eases her anxiety, going back to when they used to perform music together, and her panic attacks back in November.
Ah, so there's history there. A real connection.
A deep one. And this realization, combined with the fury about her dad, it just boils over. She needs an outlet. Catharsis.
And she finds one, a very expensive one.
Oh, yeah. Her dad's prized vintage car. A 1961 Jaguar E-Type SI convertible.
Gorgeous car. What does she do?
It's intense. She grabs a 5-iron from his golf bag.
No.
And just goes to town on the car. The source uses the word slaughtering. She's physically attacking this symbol of her father's perfect, curated life.
Wow, that's pure rage, smashing the facade.
Exactly. The Jaguar represents his vanity, his image, his control, and she's destroying it.
A desperate emotional release.
Totally. And then comes the crash, the aftermath, the agonizing question. Does she tell her mom? Knowing it will change everything.
That's a heavy burden for a teenager.
Meanwhile, back with the Barbers. Grace and James are having their own crisis moment.
They find out about the house sale plan.
Right. They realize their parents have been keeping this huge secret, and it forces them together. They acknowledge how distant they've become.
Not really talking about big things like college, moving out.
Yeah. The sources highlight they discover their parents talking to the Cheval Collective realty firm, painting walls neutral, erasing their history in the house without even discussing it.
It's another betrayal, just a different kind.
For sure. But this shared threat, this sense of being excluded, it actually reunites them, makes them a team.
They decide to confront their parents.
Yep, over the family chicken parm dinner that night. They're going to use their combined PowerPoint presentation skills.
Which sounds like a very Barber family thing.
Apparently.
Yeah.
This analytical, structured approach to argue their case, defend their home, demand some honesty, it's siblings united against parental secrecy.
A strategic alliance born out of disappointment.
And then there's Everett. All this chaos, this raw emotion, it finally pushes him to open up too.
He confesses about his mental health struggles. Grace and Isa.
Yeah, he lays it all out. The chronic depression, the lack of energy, feeling restless all the time.
And why he's hesitant about medication.
Exactly. He talks about a bad experience he had before with antidepressants. They made him feel more anxious, agitated, even kind of disconnected, dissociated.
That's a really vulnerable thing to share, and crucial for them to understand why he needed this break, so badly.
Absolutely. It validates the whole crazy plan, in a way.
Yeah.
And Isa, fresh off her own emotional breakthrough, she steps up.
How so?
She supports him, validates his struggle and his decision to try again, to find the right help. And she says something really powerful.
What's that?
She reminds him his dad, Jesse, would want him to be happier than just happy enough.
Wow. That reframes everything. It's not about just functioning. It's about striving for real happiness.
Precisely. It's permission to prioritize his well-being. And that shared vulnerability, that moment of real honesty, it cements their friendship again.
The sources mention a childhood secret handshake.
Yeah, thumb war. Seals the deal. Their bond is renewed, but deeper now, built on truth.
Okay, so the day has been this emotional roller coaster. How does it all wrap up? Things seem to accelerate towards the end.
They really do. It heads towards this climax driven by grand romantic gestures and music.
Everett texts James their location, right? Setting the stage.
Yep. Tells him they're at Fairmount Park at Strawberry Mansion, where there just happens to be a wedding reception going on.
And James, Mr. Resourceful, he sees an opportunity.
Oh, does he ever? James, the musician, the quiet showman, somehow talks his way onto the stage with the wedding band.
No way, during someone else's wedding.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And he uses this platform for a massive public declaration to Isa.
He serenades her.
With Can't Take My Eyes Off You, a song the sources say they'd always talked about performing together.
Oh, that's huge, especially for Isa, who is just feeling like her life was, stuck.
Exactly. She's floored, frozen, overwhelmed, but totally elated. This big, unexpected romantic gesture just cuts through everything.
It forces them to finally acknowledge what's been building between them.
Right. It solidifies their relationship, which isn't just based on romance, but on that deep, practical support, their shared musical connection, what the sources call their best at something else, chemistry.
And they perform together.
They do. An impromptu duet of It Had to Be You. Yeah. The wedding crowd loves it. It's the perfect triumphant moment for them.
Okay, so James and Isa are official. What about Grace and Everett?
Their moment is quieter, but just as significant. They're on the terrace, sunlit. They have their own confirmation. Another kiss.
But Grace has learned something from the chaos.
Yeah. She insists they need to slow down and enjoy it, not rush, hinting at building something real, sustainable, looking forward, not just reacting.
a bit of maturity emerging from the madness.
But the scam itself still needed a clean getaway. The exfiltration had to work,
And Grace pulls it off.
down to the wire. She and Everett get home literally seconds before her parents walk in.
She manages to stage herself back in bed, the whole setup.
Fan on, audiobook playing, the infamous bucket strategically placed. The works. She resumes the performance.
And the parents buy it.
Completely. They were apparently distracted, having happy hour drinks with new neighbors, the Vermont people.
Huh. Perfect timing. The meticulous planning from the morning pays off in the end.
It does. She avoids detection, protects the secret of the day off, and holds on to the emotional clarity she gained. The scam technically was a success.
But maybe the most surprising resolution comes from Isa's side, with her mom.
Yes, this is really profound. Mrs. Cruz comes home early, finds Isa. But she's not angry about school.
No? What's her reaction?
She's surprised, but actually pleased that Isa is dating James.
Really? Why?
She sees James as a good influence, a calming force, someone who will support Isa's goals, not just add pressure, which is a huge shift from the earlier focus on status.
That's amazing insight from her mom.
And then the kicker, the ultimate act of letting go. Mrs. Cruz reveals she shredded the waitlist letters.
For Harvard, Princeton, and Yale.
All of them. Gone.
Wow. She's giving Isa permission.
Total permission. Freedom to choose Brown, the school Isa actually wanted, ending that relentless Ivy League pressure. It's a massive gift of trust and acceptance.
The independence Isa fought for all day, finally granted by her mom.
And just to ground all this incredible drama, it's worth mentioning the source context again. These notes we've been dissecting, they're from K.L. Walther.
A young adult author, right, with ties to that area, Bucks County, PA.
Exactly. And her notes mention drawing on memories and insights from her own friends, informing this story about a tight-knit group of family friends. It gives that feeling of authenticity to the emotional core, even within the wild plot.
Grounds the spectacular fiction in some real emotional truth. Hashtag outro.
So wrapping this all up, what did we learn from this deep dive?
Well, the day was definitely defined by this complex, high-stakes plan. Lots of deception.
Right, the logistics were crazy.
Yeah.
But the real outcomes, the real wins, weren't skipping class.
No, it was untangling those emotional knots. Grace and Everett finally admitting their feelings, Isa and James getting together.
And exposing those big family secrets, Luis Cruz's affair, the barbers planning to sell the house, secrets that needed to come out.
It feels like the main takeaway is almost paradoxical, right?
How so?
The day was designed to escape pressure, to be carefree, but it actually created the maximum possible pressure and friction for everyone.
That's a great point. The fanatic costume, the fake illness, Isa smashing the Jaguar, all that deliberate chaos.
It forced everything to the surface, led to clarity about mental health, relationships, family truths.
The important knowledge wasn't in the textbooks they skipped.
Yeah.
It was the mess they made.
Yeah. In the audacity of orchestrating that chaos to find some truth.
So maybe the final thought for you, listening. If you feel stuck, dealing with unspoken pressures, quiet anxieties.
How could you maybe orchestrate your own version of Operation Fanatic? Not necessarily with a mascot costume.
Probably not. But maybe a calculated disruption, something deliberate to shake things up.
Yeah, something to help you gain perspective on those unaddressed truths, the anxieties, the secrets, the hidden feelings that might be holding you back.
What controlled chaos could bring you clarity? Something to think about.